big news that we're tracking as far as the United States targeting Iran and China is concerned. Let's tell you, sanctions networks channeling revenue to Iran, and sanctions network supplies Iranian oil to China, claims sales support terrorist and proxy groups. Trump vows to disrupt the illicit funding streams and says will hold Iran responsible for destabilizing acts. So clearly, as far as this entire matter is concerned, he's not just going on to make that significant development with that move, but what he stated here is extremely important by talking about how illicit funding streams, to disrupt the same, by also talking about accountability and putting the onus on Iran. In fact, Trump has said will hold Iran responsible for destabilizing acts. Very important development that's come through as far as US also targeting Iran and China. This is sanctions networks channeling the revenue to Iran. So clearly, as far as the supply, let's tell you what that really means. Sanctions network supplies Iranian oil to China. That's one aspect of it. Remember, there's also been a claim that the sales support terrorist and proxy groups. So that's the key takeaway as far as this is concerned, which is why you're essentially looking at him reacting in terms of the fact to disrupt the illicit funding streams with that previous claim of how sales support terrorist and proxy groups. So a big crackdown as well by the US with that move. And Trump has also said they will hold Iran responsible for destabilizing that particular act. But this is, of course, huge news that has come in. We'll try going across to my colleague to get us more details as far as that is concerned. But what one should know is that US has slapped sanctions on network shipping. So that is the key directive. This is on Iranian oil to China. This comes after Trump said he wants zero Iranian oil exports. The new sanctions target Iran oil sales to China. So clearly, the sanctions will target individuals as well as tankers. And let's also tell you the US Treasury has reacted by saying it is imposing these new sanctions on a few individuals and tankers, helping to ship millions of barrels of Iranian crude oil per year to China. Rishabh, my colleague, joins me for more. Rishabh, very good morning. Big move here, also in a sense of what has been claimed in accountability. Rather, the onus will also be put on China as what the reaction has come in. But tell us more to understand this move.
Well, if we talk about the whole deep-sink issue and the way China has responded to it, if we see China do understand that the software has been at the loggerhead with the enforcement agencies in various countries, including India, starting from apps like TikTok. India has inevitably, banned at least 300 such apps from China.
Rishabh, although you're talking about the development of the app, we will, of course, get to that aspect as well. But we're right now discussing how US has targeted Iran and China with the sanction networks channeling revenue to Iran, Rishabh. In fact, sanctions which are supplying Iranian oil to China. If you could tell us more about that.
Okay, there was some network issue. If we talk about that aspect of it, in 2016, US first started putting sanctions on the import of Iranian oil, and since then, the 4 years of Donald Trump's tenure has been really turbulent for the region and as well as for Iran as well, where not only the primary sanctions but secondary and tertiary sanctions were also brought in place, given that after that India also had to take a step back from importing oil from Iran. This was not the case where India, the way India kept importing oil from Russia, even after multiple sanctions. But in 2016, India did take a step back and stopped importing oil from Iran. Here, now that Donald Trump is back in office and Iran is up and ante against Israel and the way operations have been conducted in Middle East, furthermore, sanctions are expected on Iran. U.S. President has also said that Iran will obligate to its deed. So definitely, things are not going to die down as easy as those were thinking that a business-minded president in the United States will have a different impact on West Asia, with Iran up and ante against.
Right, Rishabh. I appreciate you putting that into context for us, but clearly you're tracking more for us this morning, so I'm going to come back to you. Please stay with me for a couple of more minutes. Let's